What up, though? So check it out. Um, Whether we know it or not, we have been uh, put under so many curses by so much hate and so many hateful people just plotting against your downfall, just simply for being who you are, for being your color, for being black, for being from Africa, for being whatever the perception of your origin is by the color of your skin. So this guy, Willie Lynch, he was the genius behind this Willie Lynch theory, the Willie Lynch letter. So like, I don't know who don't know by now about the story of Willie Lynch. He was a slave owner off in the West Indies back in 1712. He heard about the slave owners here in this country having trouble controlling their slaves. Their slaves wasn't buying it. They wasn't buying the madness. They was like, yeah, okay, no, we not doing this. So they was fighting back. They was killing. They was running away. Whatever. And so he heard. It got back to him. Somebody got him on the line. He got on his boat, got on his horse, and trotted on over here down to the James River and called them over there. So his little letter was, "Gentlemen, I greet you here on the banks of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and I have experimented with some of the newest and still oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented." Wow, that says a lot. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, King James, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what the problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to harp on your problems. However, I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if it is installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or overseer can do it, which overseers are slave watchers, slave patrol, which now they call police. But I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. take this simple little list of differences and think about them. 1, on the top of my list is age. But it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There's intelligence, size, sex, plantations, status on the plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slave lives in the valley, not slave lives, whether the slave lives in the valley, that's my bad, or on the hill, east, north, south, or have fine hair, coarse hair, tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. So that means that after they instill all of this hate and toxicity into these slaves, which is our forefathers, which is generations before us, once they instill all of that, that is basically going to take on a life of its own and become a part of who we are as a people. Sound familiar yet? Okay. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love and respect only us. Wow. That's, yeah. Well, listen, this goes on and on and on. So the thing is, we're gonna start discussing this, and I'm not gonna read all of this letter because this letter is long and it's lengthy and it gets vulgar. But at the same time, just from what I've read already thus far, do y'all see any similarities in the disparities of what's going on amongst our own people already? Because it gets deeper. It really does. And we're going to get off into it. But the interesting part, where it's going to get interesting, is the panel of fellas that I'm going to have in here. And this is going to be called the reverse of this Willie Lynch theory. This syndrome that we suffer from, oh yeah. We're going to break this. We're going to break this curse. Trust me. It could be done, because just like they implemented it, it could be reversed. So have no fear. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed. People need to be aware of it. If you don't know about it, do your research. Look it up. Look up the PDF version of it and read it to your son, to your boyfriend, whoever. Because this is what's going on in our city. I'm gonna tell you something. Especially so the disconnect between the older generation and the younger generation, which in our generation right now, it's like the clothes, the music, the way that they act towards each other, the way that they act towards us as older people, the way that we act towards them. We don't understand them. They don't understand us. They don't understand why we don't understand them. We don't understand. It's like it was never like that when we was younger. This and that and blase split. We judging people We judging these kids now by how it was when we was their age, but 30 years ago. It's called evolution. You know, I'm not finna dress like that, how they dressing, to keep up with no culture, you know. But if that's what they doing and it's not too overboard, then by all means, have your fun. Do what you're doing. But at the same time, be able to take some guidance from your elders, because I've been there, I've done that. So if I could stop you from turning that corner and getting shot in the face or getting stabbed in the stomach, I know somebody around there waiting on you. If I'm telling you that, don't go around the corner. You shouldn't have to go around there and become a victim. You should heed my warning, because I already been around that corner. I've seen what's around there already. You feel me? So like, that's me as an elder telling you because I care. Not because I'm jealous or envious or whatever. I have no desire for what none of y'all is doing out here, because I feel like my life was the shiznit when I was in the streets. So I have no desire to trade places with nobody younger than me. I love where I'm at right now in my life, you know, and eventually I hope and I pray that God will keep y'all here long enough for y'all to be able to make all the mistakes that y'all can make without being too fatal, and y'all get to a stage and a point in your life where y'all will love where y'all at in your life, because y'all been there, done that. Y'all got y'all kids, y'all raising y'all kids up, and now y'all making better decisions, and y'all trying to raise y'all kids to be valuable members of society, and doing things in life that, you know, that count, that's adding to the fabric of what we do and what we need in our community, which is all for the good. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not finna sit there and judge y'all like that. But if I see some weird stuff, if it's weird, it's weird, and I'm gonna say it. Bottom line, I don't hate you, but hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna respect you, you're gonna respect me. But at the same time, this is gonna be the reverse of the Willie Lynch syndrome. We're gonna say syndrome, because it is. It's like a plague. It hit our people hard, and it keep on, and it just keep pounding and pounding and pounding. But in order to fix any sickness, you gotta be able to diagnose it, know where it came from. That's the first step. And then after that, you can treat it. So what we gonna do, we gonna be the treatment to this disease of this Willie Lynch syndrome. So next time when I talk about this, and I got my fellas with me, and we talking about this, we gonna really, really dig deep off into this letter and analyze it, and we gonna show everybody the part that they play in it, because we all playing a part unconsciously in this syndrome. So thank you for checking me out and watching me and listening. But at the same time, it's gonna be some real education, because there's a lot of people that don't even know who Willie Lynch was. They don't even know. People don't even think that it was real. So regardless, these words and the actions that this person is telling these people to take to enslave a whole body of people, and how to break the spirits of them. Listen, man, it's gonna be so deep to where you're gonna be like, some of this stuff will make your stomach hurt. You know, it's gonna make you rethink relationships with your mama, with your brother, with your sister, with your boyfriend, with your kids, because this guy literally figured out a way to destroy every kind of relationship, every kind of healthy relationship that a black person could have in their family, in their community. He figured out a way to make us hate each other for every single trait and every single thing. Like, he a diabolical genius. He a sick genius for sitting there thinking about that, because the reason why I said he's a genius is because it worked. I mean, it's horrible, but it worked. So now we see what it was. We see where this disease came from. We're gonna cut it out like cancer. I love y'all. Deuces.